For the first annual Men Who Write Authors Showcase, we had Scott Welch as guest speaker. Listen in as we talk about the writing process and how to create an interesting life for yourself by doing interesting projects. Enjoy. So for the wonderful people that are here, we got other people coming. We've got the Empowerment Network. We got some really interesting things going on. I want to have you guys listen in as Scott talks about a couple of things. The writing process is going to be talked about in the project as well. I got to get him out of here, so we're going to do this as quick as possible before the crowd comes. But Scott, man, I'm having a good time having you here. We're going to get down and talk to the people that are here about this new project. Let me go ahead and sit next to you.
Okay, cool.
Fireside.
All right.
So,
Yes.
one of the main things that I wanted to ask, right, with both authors, what is it that makes you write?
I actually came at it from a very different angle because I was a practitioner and I didn't consider myself a writer. All I've written all the time. Hey, John. But really, my focus is that I was always practicing at clients that I was working with and serving all over the place, and then people began to be interested in my practices. And so I would write to help other practitioners do what they do or help other organizations build their business around diversity, equity, and inclusion. And so I wrote really by request. I mean, the first book that I wrote was because a client wanted to launch an initiative, and they didn't have a book that would help people with just some really kind of steps on how to broaden their landscape. So the first book was 101 Ways to Enjoy the Mosaic: How to Build a Diverse Community Right in Your Own Backyard. That came out of a client request that wanted to have all their employees have a book to help them start wherever they were, and that's where it came from. And then the second book, Plantation Jesus: Race, Faith, and a New Way Forward, which was written more towards the faith community. That was, so the first one was Water Street Press out of San Francisco. Plantation Jesus was out of Herald Press out of Virginia. And that was me committing to fulfilling a promise made to what I call my Scotch-Irish brother from another mother, Rick Wilson. So we had our radio show, Radio Black and White, and before he passed, he said, well, you're gonna, if I leave here, you gotta finish this book. I'm like, well, just plan on writing the book, man, right? So he actually ended up passing, and so he had about 25% of the book done. Again, the process has been new for me because I've always been a practitioner. So I just looked at my resource team and kind of find out who's actually knows publishers or writers and stuff, and I knew a lady that had been on the show before, and she had the contacts, and she said, well, maybe we could actually just do this. I can talk to some friends. And when they found out where we were with the project itself, they committed to publish it. And so at that point in time, they just pulled it into the machine. And all the branding and all the copy and all the positioning and all the promotion, it just kind of takes over. So both of these were very interesting to me because I'd never done that before.
Your process, I remember seeing a lot of stuff that was out there. You had put a team together.
Sure did.
Right? You had like pre-launch.
That's right.
Right? And
Yeah.
put a website together.
Right. We sure did. We shot some video. We did a pre-launch, those types of things, and that was really it. I mean, I was published from the Ross School of Business at the University of Michigan and 3 other universities for some work I did with Zingerman's, and so which is an ecosystem of restaurants in Ann Arbor, Michigan. But I wrote. I finished that article and they interviewed me. And so then they put it in this book, and it's an academic, one of those $275 books that I don't know why they charge that much for. But anyway, so they published our work in that. And so that was 101 Ways was first, University of Michigan was second, Plantation Jesus was third, and then but that led into the other experiment or experience rather that I just finished actually. That's going to be out August of 2020.
Yeah. What is this new project? Because it's a little different.
It is very different.
The writing, just audio. Could you explain?
Yes. Well, the way that this works is I just believe that people learn when they have an immersive opportunity. So books are one part of it, but I think, if you think about it, the way that I took German, for instance, in high school, all through high school, and then I went to college and learned and did it as well. But it wasn't until I actually stayed in Germany until it clicked and I began to be fluent in it.
That's the immersive part.
That's the immersive part. Much is the same language that I'm actually, with that mindset, I'm creating this immersive opportunity for people that want to talk about the whole idea, because I tend to write more, I'm being kind of pulled in this direction to write to the faith communities around the whole idea of race, ethnicity, and the isms around race. And so I thought the best way to do that would be to not just write the book. So I got the contract for that. They kind of got me in their process, and so I, penned all that. Had an editor that's in California and a senior editor that's actually here, and finished that 48,000 words, which is just like, I don't even like to think about that number. But I guess for writers, I guess it's like, oh, that's no big deal. I'm like, wait a minute,
48,000 words.
dude, you're exactly right. I'm like, this is just crazy. But I had a process for that because I have a really, really good editor. But then, so that's the book. So the book will be out nationally in August of 2020, but it also has a complementary, because I want to be able to have people transfer this language to other people. So we have Institutes for Healing Racism, we've got faith-based organizations that talk about race and ethnicity, but I think they also are so based in the social construct, they miss the biblical construct. This is the biblical construct that I'm creating. So the working title is The Mosaic Project. I don't know if that name's going to be clear. We'll figure it out. But as the book is done, and then after that, there are 4 to 6 films. And we're shooting that with a film company, and that's actually going to be connected to a leadership guide and a participants guide, because churches and people around the United States are going to teach this new language, and they're going to be certified to teach this language, because it's a fundamental shift in how we talk about race in the church, right? And so there's some different things that I got that are just unique to how to talk about it in a way that's grace-filled, in a way that is empowering, but it's foundational, and people are going to have to change as a result of it. So the book is there, the curriculum is there, that's being written, and then the 4 to 6 films, we're getting those. Those are going to be kind of the complementary parts. So when a person is facilitating, they can simply push their DVD or download it, and that will actually help facilitate the curriculum. And then I have a partner of mine that is the head of cultural sponsorships at Spotify, and he's going to actually curate a playlist for me, a Spotify playlist. So it's going to be immersive in the music, the films, the curriculum, and then the book. And then we'll have conferences. Is my thought, conferences once or probably twice a year. And that's where people can actually come and just really kind of connect and build community, and then learn more about this particular process.
So it's
that's
bigger than just the writing.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
This is something that I had a conversation with others about too.
Yes.
It's not just making money from the book itself.
Right.
But it's about what else you can do.
Right. Yes.
From this piece of material, can you expand it out in multiple ways?
Yes,
Like
absolutely.
you're doing, right?
Yes.
Can you make it immersive? Can you make it visual?
Yes.
Can you make it auditory?
Yes, I think it has to be all those things. And when I agreed to work with this particular publisher, I said, I know you guys live in a world of books, but I actually don't think that that's going to be the driving force. It's the document that drives the fundamental the language change. But we're going to do film and curriculum and the list, the songs, to actually push the language further. And I think people are going to have a really, really great time with it, because it's going to be one of those things where you can listen in your car, watch the film, and and actually it's all downloadable. I don't really see us printing any DVDs actually. All this content, the book will be printed, but everything else is going to be downloadable with a password protected kind of website. They'll pull it and they can teach from it. But this is actually for people that want to grow in that space, but it's also for people that want to teach other people to grow in that space, because yeah, that's right, exactly. It's not like I have the magic bullet. I just want to help advance the conversation, and I think I have something new to offer because of my 25 years of diversity, equity, and inclusion worldwide. I've seen some things there, having worked with those organizations. But then I think from my perspective, is the church is really, really behind, and we've got to do a better job. I mean, so that's what this is going to hit on, and just talk it through. But the thing is people are going to say the same thing if they don't have a different language to replace their current language with, and that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, when I read Plantation of Jesus, I tell you what, it's all marked up, right? I've got sticky notes throughout,
Sure.
because it was so impactful.
Wow.
I was able to take pieces of it And I think I even texted you.
Yeah, I know you did. Thank you.
Just got excited about it.
Thank you.
So when I had, I wanted to have you at the event.
Thank you.
And have you talk to some of the authors
Yeah,
about
sure.
it being more than
Yes.
just the writing experience.
Yes.
right?
And then the process grew. I was speaking in Cambridge in September in Boston area. It was 2 publishers, right? It was a room of publishers. I thought this would be really interesting because their industries are going through some flux. And so again, as a practitioner, I'm just minding my own business. I'm telling them, here's a process. Here's how you build your organization. Here you change different things. And so in that, I got pulled aside. And they said, okay, I'm the head of this audio publishing company. And my vice president is nudging me saying, have we published with this guy before? And again, I'm sitting there, it's just like a deer in the headlights. I'm like, they're like, would you come to Chicago? I'm like, yes. And so I go there. So we're gonna do 2 audio books this coming year that they're gonna sign for, and then a video podcast. We might be working with Myrick in some way to do some things here, so I have to go to Chicago all the time.
That's right.
Right, and then they're going to, so the audiobook will be the book coming up in April, or in August. It'll be Plantation Jesus, and then 100 Ways is gonna be the video, kind of the fun one for that. And then, so then, amazing facilities. I mean, so if I can avoid going back and forth, I'm gonna do that because, and so that's kind of how this has happened for me. This is not about me really saying I'm a writer, and I guess I'm coming to terms with that, right? But I just consider myself, Randy, a practitioner that happens to write.
So one thing is about when you're doing some other work,
Yep.
that work informs something that could be in the future.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So you got to go with your company.
Yep.
Go
3 Pillars, yep.
Right?
Yep.
And now you're bringing some of that narrative into the book.
It's true.
And you're doing a conference.
Yes.
Right? So that's something that when I'm
Yes.
talking to the authors, I'm talking about,
Yes.
hey, what you do today
Yeah,
could
huge.
inform your work tomorrow.
Yes.
But you've got to be open.
Yeah.
Right? And you've got to be bringing all of this information in so that
That's
it can
right.
inform this new work.
It's
you
so
never
true.
know where you're going to
Just don't, Randy. And again, my whole thing is I'm so end-user centered. I'm like, whatever I have to do to get the information to people, it's not about me. I'm just like, I'll write, but my love is helping people have the light turn on. And so if I have to go through 40,000 words to get something to them to help their life, I'm fine. But they're at the end of this. It's because I don't really get any joy out of the laborious process of writing. And I have my editor, she has me like on a strict word diet, right? So I said, okay, what do I have to do to get 40,000 words? If we're gonna have this thing done in August, she backs all the way back up. You gotta write 2,000 words this tomorrow. You gotta write 3,000, and so before you know it's done. But it's because of the people that are on the end, the end users, and I know how this can help people. That's really what keeps the fire burning. It's not like me trying to go and kind of sit in a Starbucks for 5 hours. I don't call that. That's great for some people. It's just not my bag of beans.
Right.
And so, but I just enjoy the process.
It's interesting. I'm teaching writers how to write.
Yeah.
I break it down to math.
Yes,
I call
it is
one of
math.
it is the math. of
Yes,
writing.
it is.
If you want to achieve this outcome, let's
Yes.
say 48,000
There you go.
words, right?
Yep.
Then here is just the math. of it.
So true.
So let's simplify it to the math.
That's it.
And not make it this big list.
No.
Blah, blah, blah.
No.
We sit in a room.
Yes.
We hit that number.
That's right.
Then we enjoy the rest of it.
That's exactly right. It's
So-
like I know I have 10 pages this week. Okay, I can do that. That's X amount of thousands of words. Okay, fine. So that's really, and I have Sharon, my editor, I said, I need you to help me work through the process like this. I'll respond to that. But just so sit down and just wax poetic, I'm like, that's not for me.
gonna happen.
No.
And
So-
I do something really interesting when I'm talking to the writer. It says, okay, put some of the things that you want to have in the book just on cards.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Or to get an idea of why
Yes.
you're in the story, just write it on a card.
Mhm.
Then when you sit down, you put the cards in front of you.
Yes.
Right? And then you say, okay, how am I going to get this 2,000 words?
Yes.
I'm asking questions of the cards.
It's so true.
What do I need to say?
Yeah, that is so true, Randy. And again, that's what Sharon done. She said, okay, answer this question. She said, okay, now tell a story here. Now tell another story here. So it's very process oriented. And it wasn't based upon me wanting, it wasn't based on me wanting to write all the time. That's where I think some folks are just like, this is a discipline. So I need to write. So I need to make space in my schedule to do that. It wasn't like, well, I feel like writing today. I don't know when that happens, right? But I had a product I made a commitment to that, and I made a commitment to myself, and I just had to deliver it.
And respectful of your time, I know you guys.
Yeah.
One of the next questions I had was, what's been the hardest part of authorship? Like you said, it doesn't come natural to you.
Right.
Something that you were doing in response to something else.
Yes.
What's that hardest part for you?
You know, I think for those new books, it's getting started. And now I think I have a good team to help me, but I think it's just getting like that first page of words on the page. Because once you hit a flow and then they begin to kind of point, counterpoint, they ask you questions, you answer the questions, and then the book begins to expand. I think it was just kind of getting it on the page and just starting there. And I would say that would be hard for anybody. It's like, you know what, you're gonna make mistakes. You're not gonna like everything you say. That's why you got delete and revise, right? But start, right? Because trying to think that this is a perfect book. I mean, how can a book be perfect other than the Bible, in my opinion, and being, by imperfect people, right? So I'm gonna write a book. I hope it helps people. It's not a magic bullet, right? But I'm gonna write this. And I think just getting started, Randy, was the thing. Just like start.
This is what I tell you. I got a course out there that comes from getting to the first draft.
Yes,
right?
that's
Going
it.
from fear to the first draft. And it's really just pulling it forward.
It is.
Putting it all out.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the words. So we're going to chase the words around and
Right.
they behave.
That's so true.
But getting prompts. That helps.
Yeah.
So for all the future potential writers
Yeah.
out there, just start thinking about it. You're going to get prompts.
Yes.
Right? If you have
Yeah.
someone that's coaching you, will be coaching you
Oh,
through
yeah.
it, use the prompts.
Yeah.
Answer the questions.
Yes.
Get the words down.
That's it.
Look at it, and you will say, well, this is terrible.
Right.
Right? But that's okay.
That's right.
This is terrible. How can I make it better?
Right.
That
And it's a
becomes the other
process.
Yeah.
It's a process. I know that I'm getting better over time as I write. Now I know how kind of my best zone to get into to write. I know the type of team that I need around me because, again, the production part of this thing. And when you bring film into it, when you bring curriculum into it, it's like the book is the source document.
Sure.
And I have a person that's going to write, my editor is actually going to do the curriculum. I'll oversee the process, and my film person is a film company. So, but everything stems from that source document, which is that original book. And I know how to help people I know what I like about films because I work with kids so much in that area.
This is Mosaic.
Through Mosaic Film Experience, yeah. And so just getting that team and say, okay, I need you to do this. I know what I want, but I know what I don't know. And that is, I say, let the artist paint. Stay out of the way. Here's where I need you to end up. And we'll check in, but do your thing, right? Spotify. I mean, Xavier from Spotify, I mean, that's what he does. So I have a few, let them do what they do when you surround yourself with great people. I do like everything with a team in terms of projects. And so I just really believe in that. And it works. I can get a lot done with other people helping me.
And that's one thing that, I'm working with a lot of people now.
Yes.
I find it difficult to let
Yeah.
people in their sandbox.
Yeah.
Right? And we understand it because we want things
Right.
a certain way.
That's right.
But we understand that our limitations,
Oh, yeah.
time, family,
Yes.
things, all of these things are going to affect that.
Yeah.
So get a team around you,
Yeah.
right? And start saying, okay, this is what I need you to do.
That's
team
it.
member.
That's
and
it.
if they don't, well, that's another
You gotta make a
conversation.
choice. That's right. You gotta get off the bus,
So
right?
they will help
That's-
you
yes.
put things together in a way that maybe you can't.
Yes, I believe in. For me, I really am strong on quality of life. So my family and my relationship with my kids and my wife and my community, all that's first, right? And it's not if we go on vacation, it's where we're going.
Sure.
Probably because the thing is I can't be here and there at the same time. And I'm going to take time out to be refreshed. And I think that's another part that's kind of one of those things that people don't think about. You can't really write well tired.
That's right.
You can't because your thinking's not clear.
Yeah.
You gotta be rested.
Like put something down.
Yeah. You wake up the next morning like what the hell
All
is
these
that, right? Yeah, exactly. So that's why I tell people, but enjoy it.
So understand that process. So the last question, let me get you out
Yeah,
of this,
sure.
is what is that first thing you suggest? The first thing you suggest to that new one?
I would say that they should really find something that they love, that they really believe in, that they love writing about, right? Generally, a writer, an author's going to come from a body of work, right? They're going to write from a particular place, whether it's life experience or a lot of different things. But you have to be true to what you're writing about, right? right? So you don't have to make it up. You can do some research for things that you don't know, but I would say right from a place where you have content already, right? And then the chances are, right from that place, there are people out there where that your message is going to resonate with, right? But right from that place, you know, I had someone call me from California and ask me if they should write a book on marriage. I said, but you're not married. And it was a very close person to me, by the way. I just had
What are you gonna talk about?
Yo, I was there. I was like, they was like, I'm thinking, Scotty, I'm gonna write on marriage. I said, but you're not married. I said, you have no credibility in that area. I've been married for 26 years, right? And I don't want to write a marriage book right now, but I'm having a blast, right? But I don't want to write for why? Because I'm like I told them, I said, you don't have any experience there, and you don't have credibility. So on the line, essentially on the liner notes on your book, people that are going to be your readers, right, your screeners, and they're going to endorse the book, they have to, with a clear conscience, endorse that you are true about what you're writing about. And if you don't have credibility, why? First, don't write in the area that you got credibility on.
Scott, I certainly appreciate your time.
Thank you,
I know
man.
you got to sing out
Yes,
here.
man. Thank you so much for this
Appreciate your
time.
Thank
Thank you.